Good afternoon, West Michigan. We're here in the Village at Park Terrace, and we have two gentlemen with us today who are veterans of our armed forces. We have Vince Dottert and Frank Smith, and they're going to tell us a little bit about where they were, what they did. I won't say why they did, because they were in the military. And first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Vince again. So just so they keep us straight, I don't think they can mix us up. Where were you brought up?
Well, I was born at Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, you are a Michigander.
I'm a Youper. And after a short while, my dad worked for the Sioux Ford Garage. And we moved to Muskegon as I was a youngster. But every summer for 10 weeks, I would spend up on my grandfather's farm. And it was one of the biggest things I had for shaping my future, believe it or not. But I always wanted to fly an airplane. And my dad was in the Air Force in World War I, and I was in World War II. My two sons were in the Air Force during the, not the Korean, but the other war.
There are so many to keep track.
And my granddaughter, a step-granddaughter, is in the Air Force today, and she just turned back from Afghanistan, and she had an interesting job. She was the military police, and she was assigned an airplane, and wherever that airplane went, she went. And her job was to protect the airplane when it was on the ground. Just recently, she's come back from Afghanistan. So she's had two deployments there, and she's had a good experience.
So your family's been in the service.
All Air Force type people, yes.
That's pretty wonderful.
I have a grandson that's going into Lackland Air Force Base in middle September for his basic training. So I think we've served the Air Force pretty well.
I think you have. And how about you, Frank?
Air Force family. Well, I can't say that. I was born in a little town called Mount Morris over by Flint, and I was born on a farm, and my dad raised silver foxes, and I got to do chores. I had to mow the lawn and stack the cordwood for the fire, and I had to feed and water the chickens. I started this when I was about 6 years old, and I continued it through when I was 9 when we moved into town. My dad worked in a factory, and he did odd sort of farming jobs, like he raised silver foxes for a while, then he raised chickens. I thought that was but he got rid of the chickens when he got rid of the foxes when he raised the chicken. And you also made a mistake. My name is Frank Scott, not Frank Smith, but I'm going to forgive you.
I have done that before, and I did that when I first met you, and I know you said Scott.
Okay, at any rate, to get on with this, I was in high school. in 1939 when the war broke out in Europe, and I was a senior in the fall of fall of 39, and I was obviously a candidate for armed forces service, and I didn't have much background in this service. My dad missed World War I, but my great-grandfather was a lieutenant in the New York militia, and I still have his commission and sword. So that's the only military background I have. And I got into service when I tried to enlist as a aircraft mechanic, because I knew how to take aircraft spark plugs in and out where I worked at AC Spark Plug. And I flunked because of my bad eyes. I was nearsighted, and they finally drafted me in September of 1942. So I was discharged okay, and my mother was very proud of my being in the service. I was the only boy in the family, and of course there was a big blue star on the front of my house.